From ghost stories whispered beneath magnolias to the hum of a blues guitar on a summer night, few artists capture the soul of the South like Stacey Williams-Ng. Her work bridges folklore, fine art, and spirit, bringing ancestral memory to life through brush and color. Welcome to Sylvan's Way, and today I'm sharing an artist spotlight where Southern Gothic meets soul and spirit. Now, this is my first artist spotlight, and I wanted to do it right. So I did some research on Stacy. And did you know that Stacy is an author, artist, and illustrator with a lifelong devotion to storytelling and folklore? She's not only the creator of many beloved oracle and tarot decks like you see here, but she's also a muralist, an educator, and the founder of her own publishing company. And that publishing company creates all of her decks for her. And it is called La Panthère. I think that's how you pronounce it. And her murals are so awesome. I'm going to share some image of them on the end of this video so that you can actually see those. Before she was doing all of this and the murals, she was actually an illustrator and graphic designer of children's storybooks, record and CD covers, websites, and other commercial goods. So she has a long history of painting, writing, creating, and it is just, oh my gosh, it is just amazing, the work that she has done just in these 5 decks. I'm going to show you 5 of her decks that she's created. She has the history and the background, and you can see how it all comes together in these beautiful decks. Now, she really is best known for her illustrated oracle and tarot decks. She creates each one of these entirely by hand. So she begins with acrylic, and then layers upon layers of color are built by hand. And all of her palettes kind of lean into a candlelight coloration of like dusty reds or rose dust and deep shadow greens. All of that is layered and layered into these paintings that she does. It really feels like a captured story. It's got staged lighting, symbolic objects, quiet emotion. It has all of that, and it's got that Southern Gothic mood that lingers in her tones and through her brushworks all the way through all of these. So I want to show you her deck so you can appreciate the work that she does. And first I want to let's talk about the boxes. So first of all of her boxes, even the one for the tarot, the only one that's a little bit different is this roses, dust, and ashes. But for these 4 boxes, all of them are made with this nice rigid box with a magnetic closure. And then the inside of it has inserts. Now, this one is a little older, so I've got a paper insert. But if we look at the new ones that she just released, all of them have these beautiful like foam inserts with this velvety like texture on the top of them, and the boxes all come with these pull-out drawstrings on them. So the boxes are super sweet, the ones that she has for all of the decks that she has. The backs of them, let me flip them over so you can see some of the backs, and I won't read each one of them to you. You can screenshot that and read the back of it. And then here is the back of her Rhythm and Souls, and this is the back of the Roses, Dust, and Ashes. So you have all of the backs. This box is a little bit different. It is a 2-part box. It's super cool. I love that it's shaped like a coffin, but it does have that same foam insert with the soft velvet matting going around the outside of it. So it's super nice. The boxes, all of the boxes on her decks are super nice. The one thing that I love about her decks are the guidebooks. So let me take the guidebooks out so we can talk about them. Okay, so the guidebooks. Stacy does her research on her guidebooks. She doesn't provide you with little tiny guidebooks. She provides you with thick mumbo jumbo guidebooks that give you lots and lots of information. Look at how thick all of these are. And she wrote all of these herself. It's just amazing. The woman is amazing, I'm telling you. And I love her guidebooks because she gives you all of the background information about how she created it and all of that information. She gives you full detail on the cards. She gives you card spreads. All of that is included. So if we look at her first one, the Southern Gothic Oracle, one thing I also want to point out is in her guidebooks, each one of these has such a sweet dedication. So this one for the Southern Gothic Oracle is dedicated to my late Mama, Alice. Thank you for all of the stories of the old days, the cooking lessons, and the waking me up, walking me to the bus stop. You live in my heart. It's so stinking sweet. The Southern Botanicals, I just love these. So I'm going to read these to you because they are just so sweet. The Southern Botanic Oracle is dedicated to my mom, who cannot keep a plant alive, but always supports my curiosities. I'm so glad you enjoy the comfrey salve. I will keep making it for you. Isn't that hysterical? And then the Haunts. Oh my gosh, this one is fantastic too. The Haunts Oracle is dedicated to the Cardbirds, the best little coven in Mojo City. Thank you all for the ghost tours, the seances, the bonfires, and the witchy memes, the cemetery movies, and the potato salad. So may it be, y'all. Isn't that great? So I think this one is dedicated to her husband. Oh, no, her father. The Rhythm and Soul Tarot is dedicated to the memory of my father, Dale, who taught me how to listen, love, forgive. Thank you for laughing at my jokes, encouraging me to be an artist, and letting me sit in the front seat to sing along with your 8 tracks. I will always love you. Rest in power. Isn't that great? I mean, it's just so sweet. It's just so sweet. I forget this one. Now I gotta look at this one. I can't let one go by. Oh, I don't see a dedication in this one. Nope, no dedication. Maybe it's in here, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, but these ones definitely have awesome dedications in them. Now, Stacy does her research for all of these books. I was truly blown away. I spent last night reading through every single one of these to be able to give you a lot of good information about them. So she has an introduction in each one of them, and she tells you about the symbolism, the things that you'll find in the deck, and then she goes into the difference between voodoo, mojo, conjure doctors, and deviltry, which was interesting. I love that she included black and white photos of the research that she did. She gives you words to know, so because she brings up these words when she talks about the cards. And then for the cards, you have your keywords, your context, questions to ask. For here we have the element, and then the numerology. So she does that for each one of these cards, which is amazing. And then in the back, we have our card spreads. And this information has definitely been updated. It's not just generic. It's different for each one of the guidebooks based on the subject matter. So I love that she did that. And then she gives you Devil at the Crossroads. So there's a spread that's specifically for the deck. And then in the back, I love that she gives you further reading. So if you're a nerd like me and you want to dive into the information that she researched to put in this guidebook and to develop her paintings from, we can see it here in her further reading. And then we have her information. So that's the Southern Gothic Oracle. For the Southern Botanical Oracle, this one gives you a little tiny bit of different information. She talks about creating this, words to know. So the same type of words to know, some great pictures. And then the cards themselves have the same keywords, context, questions to ask, but then she gives you the plant information, and then this is the scientific plant name, and then order, family, genus. So she gives you that for each one of these plants. So you learn, you're learning about plant information while using plant information as an oracle as well. It's just amazing the way that she did this. And then in the back of it, we have our card spreads, and then our flowering vine, which is a custom card spread just for this guide. And there's the further reading. Here we go, further reading. So if you wanted to learn more about plants, you could go and you could look at her information there. Then for haunts, I really liked this story about real life fears and what happened during the civil rights activists and what happened during that. I really think it speaks a lot, and I really encourage you, if you get this deck because you love the artwork and the keywords and phrases that are on the cards, read the guidebook. There's just so much great information in the guidebook. 40 Frights. So she talks about doing, in this one, this is special. She talks about doing case studies. So the case study shows you how you could use this deck and how you can interpret it, and how the interpretation of the cards could be different, whether you pull the cards in like a 3-card spread or you pull one card, and the difference in the meaning of what you could take from that card. So I think that's really helpful because this is kind of a different premise than the other decks that she has. Then we have our card spreads, and then the cards themselves. I love that in these ones, she adds the fear. So each one of these cards is tied to a specific fear. So what she recommends when using this particular deck is to use it as like a single card when you're working on your shadow work. Or if you're doing a reading, maybe you have a particular fear that you're working with, you can pull the card out for the fear and then leave that as a significator, and then put your spread below it of your other tarot deck. So that's kind of some of the suggestions that she gives. So each one of the cards are laid out, but then all the way in the back, of course, you have your further reading. So if you wanted to learn about all of this, all of these stories and where these cards came from and the background of them, you could do your further reading, which I love it when artists give their sources of it. And so the nerds like me can like dive into it. So, and then there's her information about the artist. So that is the guidebook for that one. And then the Rhythm and Souls is super awesome because in the Rhythm and Souls, we have acknowledgments, the forward, and it talks about creating the deck. No, that's from Amanda Hughes, the one that did the music in it. This is an opening by, oh my gosh, I just read this last night. Oh, this is written by Stacy. And she tells you that, okay, so basically she's telling you that the Rhythm and Soul tarot deck is based on, you know, music, the American South, the jazz, blues, rock and roll, and country music. And so each card in the deck is associated with a particular song. And so if you look at the cards, you will see the song that it is associated with. And there's also on Spotify a playlist that she added if you wanted to just listen like to all of the songs at one time. So you can either look them up individually, or you can go to Spotify and pull up her Rhythm and Soul Tarot song list, and you'd be able to listen to all the songs. So I think that is super awesome. and then music alchemy, and how she made these cards. So I think it's super fun that she talks about how the images that she drew, or she painted, I'm sure she drew them and then painted them, but that she painted were all people that she knows, that like, you know, that actually like posed for the cards and stuff. So I think that's super fun, and she talks about that. And then she talks about the major arcana and the minor arcana and how that works in this particular deck, and the court cards and the archetypes and the bonus cards that come with it. So look at how much information she gives you. So she tells you about the alchemy of the card, and then goes into the cards themselves. And like I said, each one of these, oh, I might not have said it, but each one of these, look, we've got roots, axes, blues, jazz, and the majors. And so it's color coded, so you can easily just jump to that section and pull it open. And each one of the cards has your keywords. It's got some major information here. Probably these look like these are pulled from the song, and then information about the card, the reversal, and then the song that's included. So it's just so much information, so much information. And then we have our card spreads. Devil at the Crossroads was a special spread that she did for this deck. And then further reading. So I just love this. I love this. Now, I saved this one for last. I saved the Roses and Dust and Ashes for last, because this deck is images of tombstones and statuary in cemeteries that she painted. She took pictures of them and she painted them. And then she goes into the different, what they mean, what all of the imagery means. So you find out what this obulus means, what this particular Psyche, the Greek goddess, what books mean, what little cherubs mean. She goes through all of that. She tells you about this, and it's just absolutely fascinating. And she includes a glossary of cemetery symbols. And so she actually says, take this book with you when you're visiting a cemetery so that you can look up, what does an archway mean? What does a daffodil included mean? What does the death's head mean? So she has it all here so that you can easily look it up. And I really wish I had this deck when I went to my last cemetery that I viewed. It was a private cemetery with some beautiful statues in it. And I wish I had had this book that I could go and I could look at and look up, what does that symbolism mean? So it's really fascinating and really fun. This is why I love guidebooks. I know I've probably spent like 10 minutes on guidebooks, but this is what I love about guidebooks. So it's just absolutely amazing to me that she put all of this in here. And then she closes out this book with some images of like a gallery of images, and tells you where she took the image and some information about it. So it is just sparked my curiosity. I find this absolutely amazing. And next time I go to New Orleans, I am definitely going to be taking this guidebook, probably even the deck, with me when I go to New Orleans and when I do readings and stuff, so that I can learn more about the different things that you find in a cemetery. It's really, really interesting. Okay, so next I want to tell you about the individual decks. I mean, I know I jumped into what the boxes look like, what the guidebooks are, but you might be wondering, okay, what are her specific decks? And give me some background on them. So let's start with the Southern Gothic Oracle. So the Southern Gothic Oracle introduced us to her world of folklore, superstition, and ancestral energy. So that's kind of what this deck is about. This is Stacy's signature atmosphere, where porches at dusk, cicadas, graveyard angels, and folklore that lingers. It's a more like a storyteller's oracle with very evocative keywords, cinematic imagery, and a real palatable sense of place. So that's what you're going to get with the Southern Gothic Oracle. Then with the Southern Botanical Oracle, this extended all of that magic that she had before into the magic of the flora of the South, like magnolias, I'm not even saying it right, and kudzu. We have kudzu here in North Carolina, each carrying like the folk uses, virtues, and warnings. It's like a really grounded deck. It's herbal. It's great for journaling, altar work, and seasonal practices. So that's what I think, how I would summarize the Southern Botanic Oracle. Then we have the no, wait a minute. Let's do this. Let's do the haunts last. The Roses, Dust, and Ashes. This is more of a tender meditation on grief, love, and transformation. It's kind of more like a devotional memento mori mood, with roses for beauty, dust for impermanence, ashes for transformation. This oracle is about love, loss, and what remains. It's really perfect for grief work, release, and ancestral candlelight readings, I think. I think that's how I would summarize that. Then we have the Haunts Oracle. Okay, so let's do that one next. So the Haunts Oracle is gives a voice to the unseen. It's like ghost stories, but it's really rendered with restraint. It's more of a hush than a jump scare. So you're not going to find like super duper, I mean, at least for me, it wasn't super duper scary. It explores like echoes, unfinished business, and the emotional weather of haunted places. It's really ideal for shadow work and liminal seasonal spreads. And then lastly, I wanted to leave the tarot for last. Her Rhythm and Souls. It brings all of that together. A full tarot deck that hums with the sound of blues, gospel, and the living South. It is a tarot with a heartbeat and history. Think archetypes filtered through music, movement, and the cadence of a lived experience. It really feels conversational. It's classic in structure, but it definitely has a distinctive voice. And what's really funny is that I was sending some messages back and forth with Stacy about doing this video. And I told her, I said, the next thing that you need to make is a tarot deck that's based on your Southern Gothic trilogy. And she actually came back and told me that this Rhythm and Soul tarot actually began as the Southern Gothic tarot. But as she was painting it and designing it, the music message just kept creeping in harder and harder until the tarot evolved into being more wholly about music. But she said that you can still feel the Southern Gothic experience pulsing beneath the paint. It's in the cards like the Magician, the High Priestess, the Six of Roots, and the Seven of Blues. So when we look at that, look at those cards specifically, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Six of Roots, and the Seven of Blues, and see if you can see the Southern Gothic Oracle in those cards when we go through them. Okay, so that is about what each one of these decks are about. Now, I backed the Southern Gothic trilogy on Kickstarter that she just released. And all of these decks came in this beautiful box. So I just love that they're all a set, and look at how nicely they fit in here. So now, if you didn't back in on Kickstarter, you're not going to be able to get this box. However, all of these decks are still available on her website. So I will link her website below. So if you're interested in any of these decks, you can get these. You can also get, now when I backed the Kickstarter, I also got the reading cloths. So this one is the one for haunts. And then this blue one is This blue one is for Southern Gothic. And then this one is for her botanicals. So I got all 3 altar cloths, so you can get that on her website. She also sent me some bags, so some specialized bags to put my decks in, which I'm super excited about getting those bags. And the last thing that I got on that Kickstarter was this special PDF. I printed it out, of course, because I can't help myself, because I like my stuff to be printed. I always lose things that are a PDF, but I love this workbook because what she does with it is she actually uses all 3 of her decks together. So the Southern Gothic trilogy, she shows you how you can use these to do entire spreads. So this is 3-way spread with the mix and match from different decks, and you can see, so the blue cards are for the Southern Gothic, the green ones are for the Botanical, and then the purple ones from the Panthère Oracle. So you can see how she uses them. And then the Monsters deck, she tells you how you can add all of the decks together to get one big massive one, and there's a special process in which to do that. And then she has a couple of spreads for Message from Spirit, Horseshoe spread, Commitment spread, and then Devil at the Crossroads spread. And I'm trying not to show you too much because, you know, I think this was a special thing that you got just with it, and I don't know if she's making it available otherwise. But I love this. I'm super excited about being able to use all of my decks together. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so next, let's look at each one of these decks. I'm going to show you the cards. I'm going to do a flip through of all the cards of all the decks so you can see them. Weren't those beautiful? Oh my gosh, can you believe she painted every single one of those images? It's amazing. Years and years and years, lifelong work. So, what I really love about Stacey Williams-Ng is that her art listens to the soul. From murals and folklore to tarot and teaching, her creativity seems to keep evolving. It's rooted in the South, but it resonates far beyond it. I feel like her decks are more than tools. They're like love letters to memory, music, and magic. I'll definitely link her work below to her studio so that you can explore more of her world. And tell me in the comments which one of these decks speaks to your spirit the most. If you enjoyed this artist spotlight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tarot artistry and creative exploration from Sylvan's Way. And until next time, may your hearth be warm, your spirit light, and your ancestors near. Thanks. Bye.